We are what we eat. Sometimes this includes things not on the menu. And often, it's too much of a good thing. A spreading menace may ensue. This chicken is hiding a deadly secret. Its intestines are a breeding ground. They are riddled with salmonella bacteria. These salmonella do nothing to harm the chicken. They live in peaceful coexistence with their hosts. But salmonella are always looking to invade other animals. And when they do, it's a different story.
Nice big smile. Come on, there you go. Give me a nice big smile.
Oh, stupid. Why did I put the pepper? Oh, right.
Even though this chicken is dead, it is still seething with life. Deep inside, its flesh is crawling with millions of salmonella. But if the salmonella are going to survive, they need a new living host.
How can I help you?
Kathleen Oman, Oman's Frozen Vegetables. The company calendar has to be shot by the end of the week, and I've been let down at the last minute.
Well, you've come to the right place.
Yes, you do seem to be the only photographer in the area.
Well, let me see if I can fit you in. Do you want me to come to you?
No, I want them shot here, in the studio. 12 portraits, one for each month, a different employee for a different product. We should start with me. I'm December. I've got a window tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m. The rest can come on Thursday.
Well, I can squeeze you in.
Excellent. I'll see you at 2.
See you then. Photographics.
What's it called?
Photographics with an F and an X.
Oh, dear.
I don't know, Mayor. I mean, competition's the last thing I need. It's not as if I'm turning down work.
No salmonella have survived in the chicken's breast. But the flesh around the leg bones is undercooked. And deep inside, hundreds of thousands of salmonella are still alive.
Fancy name is no match for a good reputation. Things will pick up. They always do.
Oh, you're probably right, Mayor. I mean, in fact, I did get a calendar job come in this morning.
There you are then.
Mike Small is about to play host to uninvited guests. One gulp carries thousands of salmonella into his stomach, where they are attacked by digestive acids.
Lovely bird, Mayor.
Unfortunately for Mike, a few salmonella survived the acid bath. Now they are swept down his intestines by muscular contractions. The salmonella need a safe place to multiply. One drifts toward the lining of Mike's gut, where finger-like projections, called villi, absorb water and nutrients. The salmonella is heading for the cells on the villi surface. The moment it lands, it invades one and starts to multiply. Now that they have a foothold in his gut, the salmonella will do two things: breed and spread.
There you go.
Thanks.
I've been thinking, Mayor, maybe I should add calendars to my business cards.
I can't quite see you photographing carrots for a living.
Cats, carrots, it's all good money. Besides, Oman's is a big company. Could lead to other things.
Only 2 hours after his meal, the infected cell dies. The salmonella burst out of the cell they've destroyed. They spread to neighboring cells, infect them, and the whole process starts again. Within 8 hours, there are 1 million salmonella in Mike's gut. In another hour, there will be 4 million. Mike's body needs to defend itself. As cells die, they release a chemical distress signal that alerts Mike's immune system to the invasion and calls in a rapid reaction force, mobile defense cells called macrophages. They capture the invaders and release a deadly cocktail of poisons to destroy them. But the salmonella have a secret weapon, a chemical counter-defense that disables the macrophages. Now, they can breed untouched inside the cells that were sent to destroy them.
I worked out a schedule for Thursday. April, that's Claudia from accounts, will be here at 8:30. Then there'll be one about every half hour, so we should be finished by lunchtime.
Fine.
The salmonella have been breeding for over 12 hours, and yet Mike feels no symptoms. But all that is about to change. With his macrophages out of action, his body has to resort to cruder methods for dealing with the salmonella.
Shall we get on?
Yeah. I wonder, can you just lift these animals up? That's good, yeah. Okay. Great, thanks.
Oh, just a minute.
As the bacteria destroy more and more cells, the chemical distress signal reaches a critical level, enough to trigger a physical reaction in Mike's intestine. The contractions switch into reverse.
Let's do one without the snow, shall we? Okay, that's good.
Mike begins to feel nauseous.
Okay, bag up a little.
For the first time, he is aware of the invasion.
Everything all right?
Yeah, fine. Let's try another one, shall we?
His body prepares for a violent expulsion. Food shoots back into his stomach. The flap in his windpipe slams shut. Another blocks off his nose. Vomiting has only cleared the top few inches of Mike's intestine. Most of the salmonella are much further down. Instead of reversing direction, the contractions down here accelerate. As the fluid rushes through, Mike's ravaged gut is hardly able to absorb any water. And it's all gathering at the bottom of Mike's intestine. An unmistakable sensation is building in his bowels. Usually, Mike can override this urge. But fluid is building up so fast that he is about to lose all control.
Mike? Is that you?
Diarrhea may be unpleasant,
Mike? Are you all right?
but a single bout flushes around 5 million salmonella from his intestines. Right now, it's his body's only hope of slowing down the spread of the bacteria. Mike's been suffering the torments of the salmonella invasion for 24 hours. Losing control of his bowels is only one of his problems. The fierce contractions of his gut are causing severe cramps. And as more cells are destroyed, the building chemicals have an unpleasant side effect. They leak into Mike's bloodstream and seep into his muscles, making them swell. Mike's entire body aches. What's more, the diarrhea is dehydrating him, giving him a pounding headache.
How are you feeling?
Oh, everywhere hurts, Mare. My stomach feels like a washing machine.
Do you think it was the chicken? Ben's hens were doing a promotion. It was half price.
Oh, bloody Ben and his bloody hens.
Mrs. Oman rang. She wants to know what's happening with the shoot tomorrow.
Surprised she hasn't fired me after yesterday's fiasco. Oh.
It's no good, Mike. You're going to have to put her off.
Diarrhea may help contain the spread of the salmonella, but it can't get rid of it. Mike needs his immune system back in action if he is going to defeat the bacteria.
Kathleen Oman?
Oh, Mrs. Oman, it's Mike Small here. Look, I'm sorry about the other day. The fact is, I've been feeling a bit rough. I had terrible food poisoning.
Mr. Small, all I need to know is, are you still available for tomorrow, or should I be looking elsewhere?
Well, like I said, I've been ill. But I'm fine now. There's no problem for tomorrow.
Good. See you at 8:30.
Oh.
To get through the day ahead, Mike needs help. Diarrhea pills contain chemicals that slow down the contractions in Mike's gut, returning them to their normal speed.
Okay.
This relieves the worst of Mike's symptoms, but is just a quick fix.
Smile, yeah.
Just a couple of things. Okay.
That's fine. Okay, one more, Bob. I think we'll have it. Yeah, that's it. We've got it, Bob. Thanks very much, mate.
Well done, Bob. Oh, no, you keep it. Now, where's September?
Without his diarrhea, there's nothing to hold the salmonella back. And as the invasion picks up pace, more distress chemicals flood into Mike's bloodstream. His aches are worse than ever.
Right, give me a nice big smile, please. That's it. Hey, smile there. Yeah, lift. Good.
Without his macrophages, Mike's body has been fighting a losing battle.
Yeah, okay, now.
But as the salmonella spread, a secondary defense system is about to be triggered. What seems like a normal cell is in fact a trap. The salmonella are neutralized and passed through a gateway into a gland. Where they come into contact with immune cells called helper cells and trigger them to multiply. Mike is still suffering, but his body is ready to fight back. An army of helper cells is released from the gland toward the battle site. But their target isn't the salmonella. It's the inactive macrophages. They release a chemical stimulant that triggers a remarkable metamorphosis. The macrophage doubles in size and pumps powerful poisons over the salmonella so quickly that the bacteria haven't a hope of defending themselves. At last, the battle is turning in Mike's favor.
Oh dear. Oh no.
Well, I know what you mean.
Oh no, this won't do at all.
Well, I can soften the focus, touch it up a bit, bring out the colours a bit more.
Sprouts. It should have been sprouts.
Have you still got the costume?
Mike's macrophages have become vicious killers. They are not just bigger, they are faster and more efficient. The advance of the salmonella has been halted, and Mike's symptoms quickly fade.
I must say, you have done an excellent job, Mr. Small. Really excellent.
Thank you. Right, are we set?
Oh! In fact, I'm going to recommend you to a friend of mine. Perhaps you've heard of him. David Ben, of Ben's Hens.
You're not going to do it, are you?
I don't know, Mary. I shouldn't turn work away.
But Ben's hens are a health hazard.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I'll better give him a call anyway. What am I going to tell him?
Tell him you've stopped doing calendars. Tell him you're an artist.
An artist, I say.
It will take a few weeks to clear the millions of salmonella that have colonized Mike's gut. But victory is assured.
Mr. Ben, Mike Small here. Small, the photographer. Oh, have you? Oh, I see. Right then. Okay, bye. Good thing I'm an artist, Matt. He's found someone else to do it.
Good.
Head up a little. That's it. Hold it there. It's beautiful. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
The salmonella may have lost one battle,
There's one on the house.
Thanks very much.
but as long as they have carriers, they'll live on to fight another day. Some things sneak into our stomachs, others we welcome, but both can be the cause of a spreading menace.
Oh, I made my best friend Samson promise to shoot me if I ever start wearing lycra.
George Fraser is filling up with fuel.
So how about you, man? You a lycra man?
Nah.
His stomach is a refinery, separating the raw materials from his lunch and passing them into his gut. There is one form of fuel the body craves above all others, a fuel which is absorbed into his blood in vast quantities. Molecules of fat. Fat is a multi-purpose molecule. Most of it is absorbed by cells. Inside, it is drawn toward structures called mitochondria, the power generators of the body. Here, the fat is burned, releasing the energy that drives life. But what George's body really wants is a surplus of fat.
How long have you been at Regis and Partners then?
So much that even non-fatty foods, such as carbohydrates from potatoes and pasta, or proteins from meat, will be turned into fat if eaten to excess.
All right, now whose was the creme brulee?
Ah, that's mine.
And the cheese board?
Guilty as charged.
Blimey, George.
I thought Lorraine could keep me company on the cheese board.
And George is eating to
Too
excess.
much, because I need some of it for myself.
His blood is awash with more fat than his mitochondria can burn.
Okay, Lorraine. We'll do business, I hope, huh? Yeah.
That's me. George, see you later.
Okay, see you.
Come on, take you to the taxi.
Lovely.
What about tonight? The salsa club. Oh, you love it. We go there all the time.
We? Who's we?
Samson, me, and Samson's girl.
Sorry, but I plan to go to the gym tonight.
The gym? Salsa is the new exercise.
You would say that.
Hey, I'm beginning to go right off you, you know.
Oh, I hope not.
Tell you what, I'll walk back to the office.
Good for you. And then I was about to give you a lift.
Oh, on second thought.
It'll do you good. So, maybe I'll see you tonight.
I hope so.
The real value of fat
Taxi!
is that it is the only form of energy George's body can store in vast quantities. Specialized cells absorb fat out of the blood and swell, and as long as there is an excess, they will keep growing. Our craving for fat began in our distant past. Fat stores were good news for our ancestors. They never knew where their next meal was coming from. But George knows exactly when his next meal is coming. It's rarely more than a few hours away. His fat stores never get depleted. They just grow.
George, man, move yourself.
Hold your horses.
Horses is right. I need to groom.
2 minutes.
2 minutes to fix a lifetime of neglect. George, come on. All this for a girl who never even said she was coming. Sad man.
Well, I want to know, who is Lorraine?
George's imaginary girlfriend.
Very funny.
Good help.
On average, men have 30% less body fat than women. But women are better designed to carry it. They store it mainly on their breasts and hips, giving them vital energy reserves to see them through the rigors of pregnancy. George's growing gut is not just the result of overeating. Shaking his hips once every 2 weeks is the only exercise he gets, which has little impact on his expanding waistline.
Lorraine, come help me get some drinks. I've never seen George so keen.
I think you trod on her, man.
You're joking.
I'm serious.
I better go and exercise some charm then.
You should.
So what do you think?
Well, I really like him. He's a really nice guy, but it's just a bit so overwhelming.
I know what you mean.
George, that's mine. Hey. Look. Calm down. Give it here, I'll hide it somewhere.
Going on a diet is like volunteering for famine. And George's body is not going to surrender its fat stores without a battle.
Hi. It's me, George.
In his war on fat, George is up against a formidable opponent, his own brain.
It's Friday afternoon, okay?
It has been programmed by years of habit to recognize that 1 o'clock is lunchtime.
All right then. Okay, bye.
The right cue sets off a chain reaction of signals that trigger a growing sensation of hunger. Hunger takes hold of George's body. His stomach starts to squeeze what's left of breakfast out of the way to make space for lunch.
Sandwiches! Sandwiches! There you go. Hi, George.
Hi.
We've got salami and brie, we've got avocado ciabatta, and there's lovely muffins that you like.
No thanks, just plain tuna for me today.
As soon as George looks at his food, his brain starts to calculate how filling it's likely to be. It wants more than just a meal. It wants a satisfying meal. The walls of his stomach contain stretch receptors which estimate the volume of food coming in, confirming the meagerness of this meal. George has failed to satisfy his hunger. His body faces an unprecedented situation. He hasn't eaten enough to keep him going. George needs extra fuel. But it's not his fat stores his body turns to. Inside his liver, another kind of fuel is stored. Emergency short-term reserves of glucose. Glucose molecules are energy boosters. They are released fast and quickly burnt in mitochondria. But they only produce half the energy of fat. George's body would normally refill glucose stores after every meal. But George has eaten so little in the past 4 days that his glucose stores are running out.
I think you've got it all wrong about this girl. Come and play basketball. That's the way to lose weight.
No thanks. You give me a donut and a cup of coffee, I'll show you how to dunk.
Using up these stores will have a deceptive effect on his weight loss. When glucose is stored, large amounts of water are locked up with it. As the glucose is released, so is that water. George is urinating an extra 2 pints a day, and that's a lot of weight. In only 4 days, George has lost 7 pounds.
Yes!
But almost all of it is glucose and water. George may think his diet is going well.
Hi, this is Lorraine. Please leave a message after the tone.
Hi, Lorraine. It's me.
But his
George.
body fat
Look, I just wanted to
stores
say
are
sorry
still
about the other
intact.
night. Look, I've got a lot of work to do for the next couple of weeks, but maybe we could get together and shoot a, I don't know, dance a cha-cha?
His
Look, give us a ring.
glucose stores, on the other hand, have almost run dry. And when they do, the battle with his body will really begin.
I think we'll get more advantage from a positive attitude, so let's not think of it in terms of a hostile takeover. Yes, the photograph of the lady.
George has managed to resist his hunger drives for a week.
Get some wine, George.
No, I've banished anything fattening from my life. I mean, do you know how many calories are in those things?
Thanks. Please do start.
I think Pearson Sons are doomed.
Look, say you're the cheese and Pearson Sons are the garnish.
His glucose stores are at an all-time low. To his body, this can mean only one thing: famine. there's no choice but to surrender the precious fat reserves back into the bloodstream. But there's a price to pay.
We're not assets.
George's fat cells send a warning signal to his brain,
Is it going to be worth it?
which drives his hunger to new extremes. All thoughts are overwhelmed by the aching desire for food.
Are you going to eat that or just play with it all day?
George's hunger drives are interfering with his ability to concentrate on the simplest of tasks.
Do you mind if we do this tomorrow? Fine. We'll do it today.
I don't know why, but Lorraine Harper speaks very highly of you.
You know Lorraine?
Through Henry.
Henry?
Henry Pierce? Her boyfriend?
These are bad times for George's body. His fat stores are being drained, and they need to last as long as possible.
You look terrible. How much have you lost?
Everything.
His body imposes a drastic energy cut. The mitochondria inside his cells start to burn less and less fuel. George is slowing down.
You're becoming a very sad man, my friend. Why are you beating yourself up about this?
She doesn't like fat men.
Correction. She doesn't like one particular fat man.
Oh, you're wrong. That girl wants the thinner me. The inner me. The man within. The man that's thin.
George may be shedding fat, but when it comes to shedding the pounds, he's in for a shock. Fat is much lighter than glucose and water, so he's hardly lost any more weight. To lose 7 pounds of fat would take George another month. Yes! George's willpower breaks. He can no longer hold back his hunger drives.
Hello? Yeah, I'd like to order a pizza. The super deluxe, please. Extra cheese and extra pepperoni. No, in fact, double pepperoni. Oh, do you still do the second one half price? I'll have one of those as well.
Every mouthful brings George pure pleasure, a reward for answering his body's cry for energy.
Peckish?
Like most diets, George's full frontal assault on his fat stores has failed.
What does it say?
It's over.
But there is another way to lose fat.
Get your stuff. We're going to the gym.
You talking to me?
When it comes to losing weight, there's no such thing as a free lunch. After years of neglect, George's muscles aren't prepared for what's about to happen. The blood supply to his muscle fibers has withered with disuse, so very little fat can be delivered to them. Inside every muscle cell are emergency fast-burning glucose stores. But these are just a short-term fix. As energy demands soar, George's muscles need to generate 50 times more energy than normal. His mitochondria haven't a hope. The task is simply overwhelming. George may feel like a sudden bout of exercise has done him more harm than good.
Where's the remote?
Serves me.
I would if I could catch you.
But as he rests, an astounding metamorphosis begins.
Now, we can have a look at the joint.
Throughout George's muscle fiber, new blood vessels are growing, increasing supplies of energy-rich fat. And deep within the muscle cells, his mitochondria start to divide, doubling the energy they can generate.
Advise you not to rile me.
Stranger himself.
Come in. Good.
Exercise is transforming George's body to burn more fat. And as his fuel demands rise, his fat stores release their supplies.
Thought you'd forgotten how to play.
An elephant never forgets, Keith.
But because George isn't starving himself, this release of fat does not shock his body into thinking famine has arrived. And his hunger drives are kept at bay. It's a virtuous circle. The more George works out, the more efficient his muscles get. And the more fat they burn, the more energy he has. After 8 weeks of vigorous exercise, they have become fat-burning machines. More fat is being delivered, and there are now many more mitochondria to burn it.
George Fraser for Lorraine Harper.
George, hi. Lorraine sends her apologies. She's asked me to look after you while she's away. Henry Pierce.
Told you were wrong about her.
You know the new me can do much better than Lorraine.
See, you haven't lost any fat from around your ego.
Come on.
George's fat stores aren't just shrinking. They're moving to where they are most needed. To ensure a constant supply of instant energy, muscle cells have begun to stockpile their own mini reserves of fat.
I tell you what, Henry seems a nice guy. A bit quiet. Could do with losing a bit of weight.
Maybe you could help him.
These changes to George's body aren't permanent. As quickly as they have come, they can go.
Nice one, Samson.
Fat is always just a few mouthfuls away.
Bye.